girls?
Broly's become a delinquent too. Must be his dad's fault that he took a bad turn.
I've heard that Broly's father, Paragus, put an electric collar on him to make him obey his commands.
How awful to do that to your own child. I remember this time. You should have seen how elated Vegeta was when he heard Goku was allowed to come back to life for one day for the tournament.
Right. Vegeta and Trunks got to participate in the world tournament as father and son.
Gotta give credit to Vegeta for being a supportive father. Our husbands both got to see their boys compete in the arena.
I remember Trunks mentioned that this Gohan was his teacher in the future. That's why he looks so vastly different from the one we know today.
No matter how old he gets or even what timeline he's from, my little Gohan is just the cutest thing.
He looks so much more dramatic than the Gohan I know. The future of where the androids won must have been terrible.
From what Trunks told me, Gohan's best efforts weren't enough to stop the androids.
I guess we never crossed paths in that timeline. I would have loved to fight by his side.
All the pain and suffering this Gohan went through, it kills me just thinking about it. Goku was jumping between the living world and the other world so much, Gohan and Goten didn't get to spend a lot of time with him.
Between Cell, the Supreme Kai, and all the Majin stuff, that was a real tough time to be raising kids.
Being a good mom is a crazy job, huh?
This was Goku's father who died many years ago. I'd love to meet him someday when I pass away.
He looks a lot like Goku, but way more serious.
If he's a Saiyan, I bet good money he was killed by Frieza, wasn't he? Oh, poor guy.
I'm grateful that he delivered my Goku here to me on our little blue planet. This is Goku when he was young, right around the time I became a blushing bride.
He proposed to you at the World Martial Arts Tournament, didn't he?
Yep, we made a promise to wed when we were just little kids.
Aw, that's so romantic.
Bulma, remind me, was this around the time he started living with you?
That's right. He just seemed so lonely. I couldn't help but want to take care of him. Next thing I knew, well, you know.
I'm so glad Vegeta met you, Bulma. Aw, Goku was a little cutie when he was this age, wasn't he?
This is what my husband looked like when we first met as little kids. Goten is the spitting image of him, isn't he?
I remember how shocked I was when I met somebody with a tail for the first time. This is such a nostalgic look for him. When Vegeta first came to Earth, he kept going on and on about being a prince or an elite or whatever. I just remember how nasty his attitude was.
Now he's a father of two and fights alongside Goku. Wow!
You and Goku were really positive influences on him.
Oh, look at my sweet little angel. Ever since he was born, I just knew he would study hard and be an academic genius.
Gohan's been a hard worker ever since he was little, and so dedicated to his studies. He's the best.
He's never seemed like he enjoys fighting. Funny how he's the complete opposite of Goku.
This is Gohan when he was fighting Cell and the androids. I know he was defending the Earth, but he had me worried sick!
Honestly, leaving the fate of the world in the hands of a single kid? That was a huge gamble Goku took.
Gohan really got put through the ringer as a kid.
Gohan fought so hard to save the whole planet. I shouldn't be so hard on him.
Ugh, the Cell games. That was a rough time for everybody.
Cell was going to self-destruct, taking the Earth with him, until Goku teleported him away at the last second.
Not only was Gohan in danger, but then Goku's sacrifice. Oh, Chi-Chi, you've seriously had it rough.
I'll never let my boys die again.
This is around when Goten and Trunks trained with him. He's taught them a whole lot.
I don't forgive him for that time he kidnapped my son, but Gohan really took a liking to him.
It's hard to imagine that he was once a bad guy.
I've known Krillin for what feels like forever. He was such a precocious little snot back then. But look at how much he's grown.
With his martial arts skills, he's teamed up with Goku and the others to protect our planet countless times. He's even got a lovely wife and daughter.
Considering how many times he's been wished back to life by the Dragon Balls, I'd say he's almost as tough as a Saiyan.
Look how handsome Trunks looks with that serious expression.
He's from the future, right? I wonder what the three of us are up to over in that alternate timeline.
I heard that almost all of humanity was wiped out by the androids.
Traveling back in time to the past in order to change the future was a real feat of science. Frieza turned into this brutish thing after Vegeta coaxed it out of him.
Krillin got impaled on one of his horns. Gohan told me it was gruesome to watch.
My little angel Gohan battled a monster like this? I knew I shouldn't have let him go to Planet Namek.
This girl. I get the weirdest feeling that I know her from somewhere.
Same here.
Doesn't she look like someone we know?
Wait, actually, she looks a lot like my little Pan, doesn't she?
Look! This is a little glimpse into the future of your daughter all grown up. I can't believe this nasty jerk was Goku's older brother. He was plotting an invasion and mistreated my precious Gohan.
He was described to me as violent, cruel, and hot-blooded. The total opposite of Goku.
Thank goodness it was Goku who landed on Earth first.
This is an android created by Dr. Giro. He loves nature and animals, and he even became friends with Gohan.
Despite being made by the same guy, each of the androids have such distinct personalities.
Maybe it's because they're each based on a unique model of some kind?
This is 18's twin brother. Back then, he was really mean-spirited and cruel.
He was a real problem for Dr. Giro, constantly disobeying his orders and all.
He was converted into an android against his will, wasn't he? Can't blame him for his bad attitude. Looks like 17's chilled out a bit. These days, he protects the forests on a remote island, and he's a dad.
When he won the Tournament of Power for us, I know he wanted a nice boat for him and his family, but he wished to save our universe instead.
Well, I gave him an expensive cruiser, so wish fulfilled.
Just what I'd expect from the richest woman on Earth.
This Broly guy supposedly grew up in the wild. They say he's so strong that even Goku couldn't beat him on his own.
He worked for the Frieza Force for a little while. I hope he's not another bad guy to deal with.
He was actually being used by his father and is rather innocent at heart. The way he talks is kind of adorable, in its own way.
He looks a little intimidating, but I remember hearing that he was an ancient hero that sealed away a giant monster or something.
He gave Trunks his sword as a gift. It's become his most treasured possession, a keepsake of their time together.
Think he's been doing well since then?
He went back 1,000 years into the past using our time machine. I hope we see him again someday.
This pink-haired villain better not do anything to tarnish my Goku's reputation looking like that.